analogies aside, okay, we are running into a problem, and by problem I mean problem for women, okay? Because a lot of men are sick and tired of going out here, you know, going getting married, okay, putting in years of their life into relationships where girls just absolutely screw them over. Okay, but we somehow wind up with many TikToks like this, guys, where the girls seem unable to find a man. Okay, there is no shortage of good men. There is no shortage of men who care about their families, who care about their friends, who would provide for these women. And yet, guys, there are thousands upon thousands, dare I say, you know, tens of thousands of these TikToks where girls are saying they can't seem to find a good man anymore. Now, part of that is because, you know, dudes are just sick of the game. Part of that is because dudes don't want to get married anymore. But a large part of it is because girls can't even choose the right man to begin with. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's, guys, we are going to be kicking it off by breaking down a few of this woman's clips right here, as I thought the wrong screen. Now, she actually makes some decent points throughout her TikToks, which I'll pull up as we go. So let's take a listen to these and break them down. So, guys, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments. And as always, guys, don't forget to come and join us over on Locals. The link is in the description, guys. Locals is totally free to join. You have noticed probably that a lot of content creators are kind of diversifying and going to different platforms. We personally are archiving content and putting it over there because you never know what the hell is going on with YouTube these days. Now, guys, let's break this down piece by piece and get into some more videos. So remember to leave your thoughts and your comments.
I genuinely used to pride myself on being a ride or die in relationships, and I'm realizing that, like, honestly, like, that just compromised my mental health.
Okay, what's the translation here, guys? Basically, she fell head over heels for Chad repeatedly. Right, you guys ever notice how there isn't really too much to these videos? It's the same mistake over and over again. What she means by ride or die, and, you know, she invested too much in these relationships is basically she's just trying to get with dudes, trying to lock down dudes who don't have any interest in committing to her. And you'll notice that it's interesting. At the end of the video, she kind of makes it a little bit about money as well. So let's take a listen.
Reason being is because every time I was a ride or die, I would literally die in a car accident before I even reached the destination.
Yeah, of course. And here's what she means by destination, guys. Whether that be a committed relationship, whether that be, you know, anything else that she's looking for down the line. You see, because it never just stops at, like, they have fun and then that's it. The girls will always be pushing for some sort of more commitment, and that's what she's talking about here. She can't get that commitment, so her analogy, you know, she passes away in the analogy, right?
So I'm sitting here and I'm being, like, loyal and supportive and, like, giving every fucking ounce of me to a person that is, like, already gonna kill me in a car crash on purpose.
This is what I find to be pretty funny, okay? Because you will hear this story so damn often, man, and these individuals will paint themselves with a brush of how empathetic they are, how kind, how caring they are. Guys, there are, man, I tell you what, throughout my life, I have known people, you know, men and women, okay, who will have this exact same thing where they'll insist that I'm of the view, guys, at this point, you know, if you're a good person, you don't need to say you're a good person. If you're a kind person, you don't need to say you're a kind person. If you're a rich person, you probably don't need to say you're rich. You see what I'm getting at, guys? If you're humble, you don't need to say that you're humble. I've seen so many individuals, they will paint themselves as the most kind and empathetic individuals, but they turn out to be the ones who just, they're quite frankly the worst, you know? Like, in behind the scenes, because what she's saying is, yeah, she might have given a lot. Excuse me if you can hear all the noise outside right now, guys.
That's good.
Yeah, she might have given a lot to that one particular guy, but it doesn't mean that she's a caring person. She only gives, you know, the love, the care to dudes who don't want it, which is a very small percentage. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Now I'm just thinking, like, okay, well, what if I just, like, rode by myself and then, like, met there at the end of the destination, so that way I know I get there safe, you get there safe, we're on our own journeys, and then, like, we meet each other at the end and we're both successful and this and that and whatever.
Look at that, right? Isn't it interesting? Okay, so this is like another, this is like the epiphany phase in analogy form. You see what I'm saying? And notice how she's managed to make it about success as well. So all of a sudden, what are we involving, okay? We're involving money, and we're involving having this girl having her, 304 phase extended, and then she's going to meet the dude at the end. In other words, she's going to get to, an age that she deems fit, and then she's going to settle down and she's going to marry, and then she's going to have kids and stuff like this. Right? I don't know what clowns are out here, man, pushing the idea that men are like in control of the dating market.
I'm a
really.
cat.
Dudes can control whether or not they can
I'm
be
a fucking
married,
cat.
sure. But like these girls, like they have choices even when they're 30. How ridiculous is that? Like there is going to be some dude who's going to come along and like wipe this girl up at 30, right? And
Okay.
girls typically know this. Now the problem is the guy that they want might not be there when she's 30. That's the problem that the girls have. There's always going to be some simp man. You know what I mean? And that's crazy, man.
Or like, I would just do me at this point because being
Ugh.
around a guy without boundaries is honestly codependent.
Yeah. And let's continue on to the next clip. And again, by the way, I'm pretty sure, these are all the same.
Disgusting.
Notice. Guys, like, am I the only one who thinks, like, we're looking at a different person in every video I pull up? Like, isn't this, like, I don't know, she looks, I don't know what's going on here, some sort of voodoo magic.
So bestie, what if I told you that I have been in a scenario where I've had a man literally control everything down to how much food I eat in a day? I mean, I literally wasn't allowed to eat more than 1,200 calories, and I had to have my MyFitnessPal on my phone.
I don't
It was
believe this
awful. It was
bitch.
awful.
I think she's
I also have
lying.
been in scenarios multiple times where guys have been like, you can't wear that, you wear too much makeup, and et cetera, et cetera. And I just
You're a
feel
liar.
like
That's
it's
what you are,
all a
bitch.
tactic
Fucking
to
liar.
make sure that there is no male gaze or attention on you because they are so deeply rooted and secure that they don't want you to leave them. And it's these same guys that do this that will then go out and cheat and like half naked, photos of girls and text behind your back because they need constant validation because you're out of their league. And it's just like, leave me alone. Like, so
Okay, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I kind of stopped listening halfway through and just kind of looked around the room waiting for her to finish talking. But she's actually says a few
That's
points
funny.
I believe. The first one is that, the dude control. A lot of people get this misconception, man. Girls will wrap themselves around, they will be wrapped around a dude's finger provided they're attracted enough to the guy. You know what I mean? Like these girls who are, womanist down to the core, they'll never do anything for a man. It's really interesting to watch those exact same girls when they find a guy that they like. They will shift all of their behaviors to try and do what they think will make him happy, right? And then in retrospect, they'll say that it was him controlling a lot of the time. You see what I'm saying? Where like, it wasn't controlling, he just wasn't going to deal with you unless you did certain things. You see, girls know, a lot of them, they know how to behave. You know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't just apply to girls, like dudes too. Like, people know how to behave, man. You know what I'm saying? They know not to be stupid, they know not to do this, and this is not related to her food stuff, this is more generally speaking. They know what their partners will and won't tolerate a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, right, for a lot of people who get treated poorly in relationships and relationships really suck for them, is you'll notice that when you get mistreated the first time, it's only going to get worse and worse. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of you watching this video right now who have had partners in the past where, like, when you
That's facts.
don't respect yourself, things get worse and worse and worse. That was a bit of a tangent, but I'll actually listen now. We'll take a listen. And excuse me if you can hear that outside, guys.
So bestie, what if I told you that I have been in a scenario where I've had a man literally control everything down to how much food I eat in a day? I mean, I literally wasn't allowed to eat more than 1,200 calories, and I had to have my MyFitnessPal on my phone. Like, it was awful.
Okay, so the question is, right, if the guy is so awful, he's so terrible, why didn't he leave? Right, if he's controlling,
Let's have a look at this.
Why are you dating them? Right? right? A lot of it really does come down to the choices you make, because it's not as if you can't find other dudes, right? It's not as if this girl is terrible looking, guys. She could go out there, she could find a man, and yet she somehow ends up with the terrible.
I just want to check my latency really fast.
She could go out there, she could find a man, and yet she somehow ends up with the
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
etc. And
yeah, so right off the bat, we've been in okay, this girl has had multiple situationships where dudes didn't want her to dress like she was for the whole community. Right, and here's the thing, girl, this is always the, the thing that I'll draw up, okay? Girls will say, I want to be able to go out and I want to do these, like, I want to wear whatever I want, I want to be able to go out and party with my girls, and I don't want you to judge me for it. If you trusted me, you would let me do it. Okay, fine. Let's just say for a second, okay, that this is just totally normal and acceptable, and dudes should put up with this crap for a moment, okay? Okay, if men are going to put up with this, then your boyfriend, he should be able to spend his money and his validation on any girl that he wants. You see what I'm saying? But now this is out of line. So you can get this, okay, guys? Girls want to hang on to the right to do whatever they want, with their bodies and show themselves off, despite the fact that they might be in a relationship, which, mind you, is incredibly disrespectful. So they want to go and do all that, right? But I guarantee, guys, you sit there and you don't buy her a gift for, let's assume, like, she doesn't buy you a gift for Valentine's. You don't buy her a gift for Valentine's, and you instead buy another girl a gift a week later. Right? You see what I'm saying, guys? Like, if these girls want to put their money wherever they want, okay, fine. Their body wherever they want, fine. If you as a guy put your money wherever you want, watch the kind of issues that you will run into. Right? Your body, your choice, my wallet, my choice. How about that? We'll see who's happy at the end of that one.
I just feel like it's all a tactic to make sure that there is no male gaze or attention on you, because they are so deeply rooted and secure.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, because that's the conclusion, right? If men don't want me to dress like I'm for the entire community, then that means the man is insecure. Maybe he just doesn't want to share his girlfriend with other dudes. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe he wants to be treated with respect. Like, you know what I'm saying, guys? It's like, maybe dudes just want to be treated with some level of respect. It's not about owning you, or like dominating you, or all this kind of crap, or trying to control or manipulate you. It's like, it's very simple, that if you want to go out there and you want to dress like you're for the streets, then you can be for the streets. You want to be a girlfriend, but you don't want to be a girlfriend. Right? And you see what I'm saying, guys? Right? A lot of these girls, they'll expect, if they go into a marriage, a long-term relationship, they'll expect a dude to provide, especially if they have the kids and they're staying home. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you want the dude to provide for you, you want the guy to commit to you, then maybe be someone who's worth committing to. You know what I'm saying? This is like me saying that women should just go out here and accept broke dudes with no friends who don't care about themselves and who refuse to hit the gym. It's like all the girls are going to say no. You see, girl standards are never a problem. Right? Never a problem. But when a guy has a standard, then we run into this, where he's not a real man, he's insecure, he's controlling, and my experience was awful.
That they don't want you to leave them. And it's these same guys that do this that will then go out and cheat and like half-naked, photos of girls and text behind your back, because they need constant validation. Because
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say for a moment, this is just a guess, but a lot of the men that you're talking about, you probably don't have a relationship with. You see, what you're doing is you're applying to be in a relationship with these men. They see that you're unwilling to, to even be modest at all. So what are they going to do? They're going to go see other. I can't tell you guys the amount of times I've heard girls say, "Oh, my ex-boyfriend cheated on me," right, or this kind of crap. And I've literally spoken to them, or one of my friends has spoken to the dudes, and the two were never in a damn relationship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but if the dude cheats on you, fine. That's terrible behavior. I don't think cheating is right either way. But let's not exactly pretend like you're clean here. You know what I'm saying? You wanna dress this way. You wanna go see your girls on the town. You're kind of fighting fire with fire here, my friend.
Because you're out of their league, and it's just like, leave me alone. Like, so. Yeah,
and of course that's the end of the clip, right? But of course it's the dude's responsibility to leave her alone, which I agree with. Okay, here's the thing: if you don't want to be a girlfriend material, then you're not going to be a girlfriend. In the same way that if dudes don't want to go out here, you know, actually give a crap about themselves, get on their grind, a lot of them are going to be left behind. You know, and it is what it is. Like, notice how the girl standards never a problem, never a problem. And in fact, if you don't meet them, you're not a real man. But when a guy has standards, like, I don't know, dress modestly, boom, everything goes up in flames. It's actually crazy. Let's go to the next clip.
Stop checking his phone. Stop checking his
What on
phone
earth is this?
and go book a flight. Stop checking his phone and go book a flight. Stop checking his phone and go book a flight because that's what you deserve. Now repeat after me. Stop.
Okay, we're muting this. Listen, I don't know. I feel like
That bitch
like
is
she just
insane,
brought
yeah.
on an aneurysm for me right now. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but look, if you listen to the lyrics, if you want to call them lyrics, right? If you listen to what she's saying here, she says, stop checking his phone, go book a flight. Right, have you guys ever noticed how for these individuals, like, everything seems to be a repeating cycle, right? Like, dudes always cheat on me, dudes always do terrible things, my relationships always suck, you know, my bills are always overdue, and it's like, and you look at their life and you're like, okay, what are the type of men that you're choosing to date? Oh, they're all terrible. You know, they're all like dealers and stuff like this, right? They're like expecting commitment. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? You know, these are the people, guys, I swear to you, who will have like 50 problems in their life, and you can come in. How many of you guys have had this experience, right? Whether that be with someone you're dating or a family member or a friend or something like that, right? Where there are certain people where it doesn't matter how much you help them, they're still going to find a way to make their life in whatever metric that you helped terrible again, right? So for
They'll fuck
example,
it
you
up,
might
bro.
loan them money and then all of a sudden they're in debt again. Okay, you know, you might give them the best relationship advice in the world. What do? They go out there and they choose the scumbags and the dudes who cheat on them again. Right? And here's the thing, a lot of these dudes who these women date, by the way, are not scumbags and not cheaters. They just either A, won't commit to them, or I've seen it so many times, guys, where these girls, they'll say that the dude cheated when they didn't even have a relationship.
Like, I'm not guys who don't want to
guys, like, I'm not even
get in a relationship.
I'm dead serious when I say this. The amount of times I've seen girls say that men have cheated on them and they don't even have a relationship with the guy is actually astounding. But let's continue on to the next clip because I think I'm getting
that's
my
facts,
aneurysm
bro.
back from watching this. All right, let's take a listen to this one. And again, guys, like, keep in mind, this is like the same woman every time. All right, again, like, well, it looks like we're looking at completely different individuals. I think
They're all the same
I
woman.
actually think
Like,
maybe
literally,
she got like
even if they're a
fillers
different
and some veneers between these. Maybe I can't really. I can't. You can never really tell what the hell is going on anymore, can you?
This generation is corny and fucking weird. When did it become cute to like cheat on your partner and be a secret and be a homewrecker and a side piece and this and that and whatever? When did that become cute? When did that become a thing? You can miss me with that wave. You can miss me with it. I will stay single until I die.
You know what's funny, guys, is like, here's the thing, okay? I've realized that there's probably more girls watching this channel than we originally thought, right? And the funny part is, like, even girls who, like, actually care about their relationships, I've literally had messages from dudes who are married, women who are married, both genders, and who are looking at this garbage like, what on earth is going on? Right, because here's the thing, okay? Let's just suppose for a moment that, you know, this woman's just completely spotless, right? And she's out here looking for a dude. The thing is, even if that were the case, all the other women have ruined it for girls who are actually out here trying to look for something, you know, something serious, or like, because the longer this stuff goes on, the less and less men want to commit in general. It doesn't matter if you're not going out here to the town, you know, to the town with your girls every weekend dressing however you want, or you've got 5, 10, 15 plus thousand followers on Instagram and you post a lot of photos of yourself, right? Because what ends up happening, right, is if every girl goes out here and she wants to be, you know, she's happy being a side piece, and, you know, not happy, but they do go out here and do this, to be honest with you, then, like, these girls along with simps are like straight up ruining the dating market in its entirety, to the point where, like, dudes are, why would we even commit anyway? Like, even if you're the most fantastic girl in the world, it's like, okay, it's literally got to, especially the dudes at the top, right? For dudes at the top, it's almost become like Uber Eats. Right, I ordered Uber Eats, man. Like, I never order food, I feel like, you know, off that, because it's a waste of money and stuff like that. When I was sick, I wasn't sick, excuse me, but I was home the other day. So what I did was I ordered some Uber Eats, right? And I was like, wow, that was way too easy, right? And the thing is, it's exactly the same thing for dudes at the top when they're looking for girls. Just get on Tinder, right? Just get on Bumble, just get on Hinge. Hey, maybe you're a few points below in attractiveness. Hell, why not get all three and just boost them 3 times a week on Tinder if you live in a big... It's like, girls have literally become Uber Eats to the dudes at the top. You see what I'm saying? Where it's just so efficient. You can sit at home, be working from home, whatever the case may be, and this. Like, so let's play that part again, because this is the real telling part right here. Oh man, I muted the damn thing. What have I done?
Fucking weird. When did it become cute to like cheat on your partner and be a secret and be a homewrecker and a side piece and
Okay, so let's talk about these things, right?
You're
A
not
secret.
a fucking
First
girlfriend,
one's
bitch.
that's a funny term that she uses there, right? Because what it demonstrates is a lot of guys, even if they get into a relationship with you, they know how embarrassing your behavior is, so they don't want to show you off to their family or friends. Isn't that telling about where we're at in society right now? So you can do this thing of like, oh, we can act however we want, we're strong and empowered, we're boss babes. But the funny thing is, even if you get in a relationship with the guy, a lot of them don't even want to show you to their family or friends because it's embarrassing. How crazy is that? How insane is that?
this and that.
And so let's move on to the side piece. Yeah, a lot of girls will be side pieces, right? A lot of girls, they would rather be the side piece to some dude that they're highly attracted to than get into a relationship with a guy that they feel as though they're above. And again, the more girls that go out and do this, which by the way, like, it's funny how this girl says this, but there's a very high chance she's done one, if not all of these things, so...
Whatever. When did that become cute? When did that become a thing? You can miss me with that wave. You can miss me with it. I will stay single until I die.
Yeah, and that, like, unfortunate to say, not making fun of the girl or anything, guys. That very well could be the case. Right? If you've got these ridiculous standards, okay, if you're still going out here chasing bad boys when you're 30, 40, I mean, there's a decent chance you'll be by yourself at the end. Right? That's not even me trying to be cruel, guys. Literally the woman's own words right there. But let's continue into the last clip.
Stop asking women to be your piece if your only intention is to take theirs away from them. Go to therapy and leave me alone.
I don't understand. Like, it's super interesting how all of this just swiftly, like, within how many seconds are we into this video? We are 10 seconds into this video, and already what we've done, what the woman has done right here, is she's removed accountability from herself. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna play that back again. That was crazy, right? So we just blamed men right off the bat, huh?
Stop asking women to be your piece if your only intention is to take theirs away from them. Go to therapy and leave me alone.
Okay, so dudes require therapy, they need to leave her alone, and dudes bring chaos into her life. Right? Guys, like, I know very little men. I know a lot of people. I would say that I know a lot of people, right? I know very little men who represent, like, chaos. You see what I'm saying? Who will, like, try and come into your life and turn everything upside down. I know very little. Yeah, there are some. Okay, there are some dudes who are, just out here doing this stuff, but men are not, like, inherently cruel or chaotic people by default. Okay, and I dare say that oftentimes the reason why girls use this language, by the way, is not because the guy is, like, cruel or chaotic by intention. It's just that the guy doesn't want to commit to her, or he sees other girls, he sees multiple girls at the same time, and this is all just, word for she feels competition anxiety.
My piece is so important. My ability to feel safe in a relationship is so important. If you make me feel unsafe, do you not realize that if I don't feel safe in a relationship, I have no access to my femininity? And without...
Okay, these are all, like, this is fantastic to say, right? Like, your piece comes first. Fantastic, right? I think people should put their piece first. I agree. But here's my question to you. You're yelling at me, saying that you do these things, but by virtue of this video existing, it tells me that you don't do these things. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the crossroads we're at here? Right? Where, like, you're saying one thing, but we know, given the fact that this video exists, that you don't do it, because here's the thing: if you really valued your peace, first of all, you wouldn't be on TikTok yelling. Second of all, you wouldn't be on TikTok yelling saying that you value your peace, right? Because the implication there is that you haven't, right?
Without access to my femininity, I have no access to my confidence, vulnerability, the ability to have sex with you, or the ability to, I don't know, even feel some sort of happy emotion. I need to feel safe in a relationship.
Okay, there's few stuff I can comment on during that, guys, but what I will say is this: girls will insist very strongly, okay, that in order for you to have a relationship with them, that they require
Christ.
you know, just positivity is what they require. They require peace and positivity, to use this woman's words. Now, if you look at these women's past relationships or the dudes that they hook up with, okay, what you will notice is that the men don't do these things. They like, if you guys can see my cursor right here, dudes that this woman actually sees, will make her emotions go like this. You see what I'm saying? Like, it'll literally just be an unpredictable pattern of how she's going to feel each day. And that culminated with, you know, her being attracted to the dude is why she's typically there.
I need to have peace, and in order to have peace, I need to have a man that has it already. Have peace before you come to me. Don't try and take my peace away from me because you have none. You need to go to therapy. Period. Leave me alone.
I mean, even if this girl, what she's saying is, you know, how dudes need therapy. Okay, if the dudes need therapy, what does that say about you who chooses dudes who need therapy? You know, like, that's the counter question. What does it say about you if all the dudes that you have in your life, you know, require therapy? I don't understand. Like, girls are literally out here, guys. They can have so much. They have so much choice in the dating market. You know, so much choice. They're literally like customers just walking into a mall full of shops, right? And all the shops are trying to sell them something, and then they somehow just always go to like, whatever, man. But guys, let's continue into today's dating profile. I'm going to try and do some more of these here and there. If you guys have any to send, there's a place where you can probably send them in the video description, guys. But let's jump into this first one if I can hit the right button. So this is the only dating profile we have today. But it's a little bit of a mess, guys, as you can see. Now I'm going to walk you through this, don't worry, because we're going to get lost, okay? So here we have this woman right here. You know, as you can see, I don't know, she seems to be below 6 foot, guys, so obviously we can't be, you know, we as men, guys, we have to really respect ourselves and not date girls who are below 6 foot. Even if, hey, if you're a dude watching this and you're like 5'3", make sure you keep your standards up there, guys. Don't date a woman who is, you know, not above 6 foot minimum, you know, because obviously that's just the sensible thing to do. As you can see, we got the girl here. Now, she is 35 years of age, okay, and let's take a read of her bio. I can't really zoom in here because it doesn't work too much, but what she says here is she says, I need a man with a planned future, not a boy with social media swags. No words that I can't particularly talk about here. But notice how it's like, I need a man with these things. I need a man with a planned future. I don't need a guy with social media swags. Now, what does that tell you? One, it tells you that she's at the point in her life where she starts to need stability and a dude who's going to take care of her. That's the first thing. Second thing is, the dude without the social media swags, this tells you that she has dated men with social media swags. You ever notice how girls say like, oh, this, you know, this one particular type of guy, I'll never date a guy, you know, I'm not into those types of guys. But what you come to find out is that's pretty much who she exclusively dates in her past, right? But as you can see here, you know, we got the food picture. And I don't know what it is, man, about these girls. They just love taking pictures of food. Like, I tell you what, if you're a dude and you're choosing to go out there and date and stuff like that, you guys are aware of like thirst trapping, right? I literally think that food trapping is becoming a thing. If not, it's just a completely, you know, it's already a thing. Like, if you guys are out there dating and you like put an Instagram story of like you on really nice place with some nice food and like another girl there, like this is the kind of crap, like, I don't understand it, but I don't know, every girl just seems to find the need to like take a picture of their food for Instagram, right? And I think they actually get food baited. But guys, let's continue on to today's magazine article and then perhaps some Reddit stories, and we'll wrap up today's episode depending on how much time we have. So let's take a look at this magazine article. Now here we have a magazine article on manipulation. It is titled How to Recognize and React to Manipulation in Your Relationship. So let's take a listen to what this individual has to say about these things. Now let's see if we can zoom in here to make it a bit better. Alright. People who manipulate use mental distortion and emotional exploitation to influence and control others. Their intent is to have power and control over others to get what they want. Someone who manipulates you knows what your weaknesses are and will use them against you. The manipulation will keep happening unless you actively and assertively put a stop to it. That said, it is not always easy. Recognizing manipulation in your own relationship can be difficult because it might have started out subtle. Over time, manipulative behavior in your relationship can become the everyday dynamic with your partner. This article covers how to recognize the signs of emotional manipulation and how to respond to manipulative behaviors in relationships. Guys, it's interesting when people talk about manipulation like, oh, you know, you need to put a stop to it or whatever. Like, I'm just not into dealing with it at all. Just go away. You know what I mean? Just absolutely. Manipulation is funny enough. It's something that's retrospectively understood by a lot of guys, by a lot of people in general, I'll say, right? A lot of guys, they'll get out of relationships, and then only after they're out of the relationship can they start to see things more clearly. They look back into their relationship and they slowly start to be able to list all of the things that were just not acceptable, that were out of line, that they didn't realize while they were in the relationship. You see what I'm saying? It actually really is an interesting thing to go through. Like, I've had talks with dudes before, man, who, like, they never really understood this stuff, and then they got out of their relationship, they started to do some research, and it's like a whole world was opened up to them about what was actually going on inside their relationship, you know what I mean? What is manipulation? Manipulation is a tactic someone uses in order to gain control over another person, usually in an attempt to get what they want, and often at the other person's expense. For instance, a person who is manipulative might use strategies like lying, gaslighting, passive aggressiveness, and the silent treatment among others, all in order to get you believe that what you are doing is wrong and they are right. Signs of emotional manipulation can be subtle or obvious, but no matter how they appear, manipulation is damaging to your relationship. Here's a look at how manipulation tactics compare to a healthy, direct approach. So on the right we have manipulation, and on the left we have honest approach. Let's look at manipulation on the right. If you loved me, you would go to the movies with me tonight. If you don't pick up the kids, you clearly don't care about them. I would talk to you about something, but I don't know if you have the time for me anyway. There are probably people who are watching this video, if you guys have made it this far, you know, because there's significantly less people watching this right now, but if you've made it this far, chances are you've actually heard these sentences quite a lot in your life. Right, really quite a lot. And I had one guy explain this to me recently, man. He was talking to me about a previous situation he'd been in that was awful. I think, from memory, the dude I'm thinking of, he was married at the time. And he would describe, the feelings of being in the relationship, being in the marriage, whatever, as walking on eggshells. Now, this is a term that you'll often feel or have brought up when you're talking about people who have, NPD, narcissism, and stuff like that. And it can really be quite awful for people to deal with. So let's continue. The examples above use tactics like guilt tripping, such as implying that you don't love them or care about your kids based on not performing certain actions. Statements like these are attempts by the manipulator to shame the target into doing what the manipulator wants. I would like to talk to you about something, but I don't know if you have the time for me anyway, is an example of a passive-aggressive statement. A manipulator may fear that you don't care about them, but instead of expressing it directly and honestly, they sidestep the issue. They might put you down in an attempt to get you to apologize or feel bad about the situation. In general, people manipulate others to get what they want. They may feel the need to punish, control, or dominate their partner. They may be seeking pity or attention, or have other selfish motives. They might also be trying to change or wear down a partner in an effort to have their own needs met. People who use manipulative behavior in relationships sometimes come from a dysfunctional family of origin, the family that they grew up in. They might have had to manipulate in order to get basic needs met or avoid harsh punishment, or perhaps they were manipulated by their parents. Guys, this is really interesting because we bring this up a few times, here and there on the channel. But this is what happens when, you really try and disassemble the nuclear family and you try and push men out of the family units. Because the thing is, by pushing men out of family units, by, doing things such as making marriage just not a viable option anymore nowadays for men, what you're actually doing is you're actually breeding more dysfunctionality. Like, more people will grow up without, fathers or mothers in the picture, or all this kind of crap. you know, if you want to shove men out of society, the detrimental effects are so
fucked up.
ridiculous that it's like a compounding effect where you just end up seeing more and more of it, and you end up with, you know, more broken girls, dudes don't want to marry them, blah blah blah, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know, there really is very little argument to be had, you know, trying to put forward the idea that men should marry you, all right, especially after we see all these ridiculous TikToks. So guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, guys, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. It's always interesting to see what you guys have to say. If you disagree with me on anything I've said, guys, feel free to disagree. That is what the comments box is for. And as always, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo, what is going on, guys? Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank
Everybody, I just heard that there is a plan for them to put deportation depots in every state across the United States of America.
Oh,
The
shit.
National Guard troops that are being trained for unrest are going to be amped up or ramped up to 500 to 1,500 troops in every state as the United States of America prepares for civil war. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick at what we have going on here. The image that I have right behind me is the official ICE.government website. You have an image here that is very representative of our nation's past. It says, "America needs you. It has been invaded by criminals and predators. We need you to get them out." As soon as you sign on to become an ICE agent and you fulfill your duties requirements, you will get a $50,000 sign-on bonus, $60,000 worth of student loan repayment. You can choose your mission, they say, from deportation officer, general, or over 40 years old, criminal investigation. You can be a general attorney. They say this is for the closers, the resolute, for everybody who represents the United States of America. And then it goes on to give some frequently asked questions, but folks, I'm here to tell you we are about to see a major anti-immigration movement across the United States of America. Look at what has happened here. This is in Prospect Heights, U.S. state, Chicago, Illinois. I'm going to mute this because there is a lot of cursing that goes on with it, but you can see that the locals are getting very, very upset at immigration enforcement. They're starting to actually cause hostility with the immigration officers. They're no longer just taking a passive whistled stance from a distance. They're up in their faces. They're trying to drag them back out of the officer's apprehension. Local police gets called up because this is no longer just a federal enforcement issue. Now you have the safety of federal officers, and you're going to have, according to some politicians, you're going to have violence in the streets extremely soon.
Queen. By the way, Dairy Queen, there's no dairy at the Dairy Queen. Don't eat at Dairy Queen. Don't eat at McDonald's. Don't eat at Chick-fil-A. Don't eat at Burger King. Don't eat that chemical warfare. Thank God for Robert Kennedy Jr. going to ban putting chemical warfare in our foods and medicine.
Now, of course, I'm as good of a conspiracy theorist as anyone else.
The
I would like
McRib is
you
back,
guys
though.
down in the comments to let me know whether you think this is actually a purposeful poisoning chemical warfare, as Ted Nugent so gracefully says behind me, or do you think that this is all about profits above
Ted
health?
fucking Nugent.
Do they just not care what the people eat, and so if
Top
they
tier
can
fucking
lobby
retard.
the Food and Drug Administration to say that this chemical
Top
is
tier
okay,
boomer
then they'll put
retard.
it into the food product, you eat it, doesn't matter if it makes you sick, if it can increase their profit and margins while making you sick, but you'll still pay for it.
Oy vey. So finally, in 2025, after the Ronald McDonald Cancer House and all these bald-headed kids having
Oy
chemo
vey.
and radiation because McDonald's poisoned them, Burger King poisoned them, Kellogg's poisoned them, Post Cereal poisoned them, Chick-fil-A poisoned them, All these colored drinks poison the kids, and then they charge us to treat their cancer.
Now, if nothing else, I do appreciate and respect Ted Nugent's very intimate passion for the American dream.
He taught in China from 89 to 90. He visited the country 30 times. He got married on the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre. He honeymooned in China. And to your point, he promoted Chinese communism as a teacher to his American students. So I think what this does, Governor, is it begs the question, is Tim Walz a national security risk?
Absolutely. I'm 100% convinced he's a national security risk.
Hell yeah.
That is an absolutely
That nigga the
massive
fuck outta here.
accusation by our government leadership, saying that we have politicians who act as security risks inside of our government today. Now you're seeing the line divide, and as soon
And
as
that
they can draw a
fucking
line between
Somalian
the
bitch, get
security
that bitch
risks
the
to the
fuck outta
United
here.
States of America and the divide between the political left and the political right, then you're going to have the very real Civil War-like witch hunts that we have seen in our histories past.
This man wants America to grow up and be more like China, which is the exact opposite of what our leaders should be doing. I have spent all of my time fighting China, and for 30 years I've been working in policy on protecting our food supply, and we've seen China not only manipulate our currency, steal our IP, treat us unfairly in trade agreements, they've also spied on us. They've come in and now, and they're taking and buying our land. I have banned them purchasing land and doing state contracts in South Dakota. The rest of the country needs to realize and wake up that we...
So guys, this is very far from over. Let's look at what we have across social media. Look at what's going to come for America.
You will now be able to delete your social media posts. From the end of 2025, every country must put in place trusted flaggers that can fast-track delete your content. A flagger is like a Karen who tells the government you were a bad person, but this time she is funded by your tax money. And do you want to know the crazy part? A flagger is, for example, Germany could soon decide what you in France is allowed to say.
When you go and look at the definition of illegal content in the Digital Services Act, which is Article 3, you see that illegal content is any content that goes against the EU law or against any law of any EU country.
The EU's Digital Services Act and Darth von der Leyen is building a cross-border network of trusted flaggers.
Now, J.D. Vance just spoke out very recently about the European Union and how they were trying to come down on X.com, which according to some has become the most free or freedom expressing platform in the entire world. There are some other platforms that allow you to truly express your opinion and truly hold on to your constitutional rights, but of the mainstream-ish ones, they say that X.com is one of the largest. Truth Social is another large one. I am hoping that YouTube comes back into their graces, into what they used to be, and really allows you to express your opinions and express what you want to see happen and express real change. But they're saying that right now, these flaggers or these flagging Karens will be able to change what you see in other countries based on the laws of what is allowed to be seen in their country. So maybe in Australia, where they're starting to make it so that the clerics can preach hate, but the people of Australia, the actual citizens, they'll go to jail for it. Well, now they'll be able to flag content that you see in the United Kingdom. United Kingdomans, they'll be able to flag content that you see in Canada. Canada, they'll be able to flag content that you see in the United States of America.
Oh Lord.
This is reported to have happened on Christmas Day, so just a couple of short days ago. I'm going to turn that off because that horn will really get annoying quick. You have ICE agents marked up as police taking people out of the vehicle, taking them into custody. Now, there was a big hoopla over, oh, you're separating families on Christmas. So do you think that the cops should just not go after, murderers on Christmas? Do you think that they should not chase child endangerment on Christmas because you wouldn't want to separate their family on Christmas? So I have a real problem with them taking that sort of card, but we have to, of course, make sure that the people they are going after, get justice that is in line with what they have done. And I think that maybe in our future, we're going to have a big discussion about this.
J.D. Vance. So I said in the last show when we were talking about James Fishback, he's saying a lot of the right things, a lot of the MAGA things. Whether he'll follow through is another question, but he's saying a lot of the MAGA, America First things. And I mentioned then, J.D. Vance is doing much of the same. He's saying a lot of the right things.
Now in this post, if you can't read it, J.D. Vance posts that mainstream journalism is just profoundly uninteresting and lame, consumed by its own pieties. To write an article about a generational divide in anti-Semitism without discussing demographics of various generations is mind-boggling. This is in response to Alec McGillis, who wrote, "Research suggests that America is becoming more anti-Semitic because its young people are becoming more anti-Semitic." Now listen to what the Post has to say.
Things increasingly too. Here's him. Anything talking about demographics is supposed to be verboten, because if you talk about demographics, you always get back ultimately to the same math. But this is the difference between a first world society and a third world society. I've shown you these videos before. This is a brand new one.
I don't know if you've seen this video. I certainly have. It was a group of individuals who came into a small shop that a person had set up, where it's a honor system shop. You come in, it's already laid out what is there, so it doesn't have to be manned. What you take, you pay for, and you leave it, and you go. Look at how they treat it.
Just another local farm stand got plundered by migrants this morning in the small countryside town of Huntsville. These last semblances of a high-trust society are rapidly disappearing due to incessant, shameless theft by hostile invaders. Taking, looted, look at the third.
Absolutely wiped out.
We look at Europe, actually, there was a lawyer this week who argued that an Afghan immigrant who raped a woman shouldn't be charged or shouldn't have a penalty because his culture said that women weren't free and equal. We're seeing 77% of rapes in France are from migrants. So there is a real question that people on the right have about certain cultures.
And then the lady asked, but what about their cultures? Folks, the United States of America is maybe spearheading as the only country that is standing up for the world as it should have been, where we understand that there is a need for justice. There is also a need for freedom. You're watching Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube, where I doom scroll so that you don't have to. Please make sure that you are subscribed. Share this video off of YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, through email to friends and family. Send it as a text. Just let people know that these things are happening and they continue to happen, and we're going to see a lot more of them in the year 2026. And so until you check back at 2 p.m. this afternoon, I hope that you and your family will continue to stay safe.
Welcome back to a series so merry. Even Santa subscribed. In today's video, Hassan has a special message for all his haters. He claims they had a very bad year and Hassan continues to get good PR, coping even in the holiday season. He instantly realizes everyone still hates him after reading the comment section and claims that they're all Redditors. He's referring to himself as a dog terrorist now, straight into the collection of Diddy Pica nicknames. He's talking about working a real job and how hard it is because he apparently worked in advertising sales. His billionaire dad reading this right now? Bruh. He's calling out Moist Critical again, along with Sloptubers, aka me, for only criticizing Hassan and not Asmongold. He claims we're afraid of Asmon's audience. I have responded with the actual reality of the situation. Fortnite guy Myth has made a shot color joke. Hassan is now claiming Twitch is a right-wing platform. Okay, man. Subscribe or you gotta watch the entirety of One Piece. But Pegasus, One Piece is great. Well, you gotta do it with Hassan Piker while he's lecturing you about politics. You're cold. Cooked. Let's up those numbers! Now let's begin. Ryan. Right, so in the spirit of Christmas, Hassan has a special message for all his haters. Hassan taunts the haters after his 2025 year. It's a bad year for my haters, dude.
God damn. It's a bad year for my fucking haters, dude. You know what? It's Christmas Eve, and in the spirit of Christmas, I'm gonna feel for my haters this year. It was a bad year to be a Hassan Abi hater. How can I be okay? It was not a good year to be a Hassan Abi hater. I mean, they try so fucking hard. They try so goddamn hard. What is happening? They try so goddamn hard, and it was just like, they just couldn't comprehend. They were like, why is this guy getting so much good coverage? It's like, I don't know, man, because I think I did a lot. Dream less, enjoy life more, and spend more time with friends and family. Favorite movie of the year, one battle after another. Favorite music of the year, SD Kid. Nobody is shocked to see this puppy on CNN except Kai. She's permanently shocked by Hassan. Per the famous words of Hassan, old enough to count, old enough to mount. Google the video. Shame on you, CNN, for promoting someone like Piker who said that America deserved 9/11. This is why American mainstream media cannot be trusted.
I mean, absolutely beautiful. Another classic Diddy Piker moment. Instantly gets a taste of reality of how people actually see him. You know, that means a lot, Hassan. Not often you get a personal message from Sir Diddles III himself. I hope you signed it as Diddy Piker. I want your real name on there. But I feel like it's my duty as the Hassan explainer to correct a few things there. First off, I think you had the worst year ever, bro. You shocked your dog live on stream and lost all credibility. Your own, 50-month subscribers are basically turning on you, and you essentially became an internet meme instead of your life goal as a respected political commentator. And your quote-unquote haters basically made like 1 billion views off of you, and it was very nice if I do say so myself. Infinite content glitch here, infinite money glitch. And let's not act like any of this good coverage is authentic. We all know why you get glazed by mainstream media and these phony articles, because you get paid PR articles from your management, or Taylor Lorenz is infiltrating every fucking site like a virus, making sure every article writer mentions the sweat beating off your chest hairs, you know? But you know, in the spirit of the holiday season, I forgive you, okay? It's okay to cope, especially on Christmas. Right, so then he says that all the comments criticizing him are just Redditors.
You should look up the term blowback. It might help you understand why 9/11 happened. Hassan is a genius with language and English idioms, and he has the hive mind thing down almost perfectly. Even AGI could learn from him. A lot of very, very upset
this man is not a genius. He has a very tiny
watchers
head.
and readers in the chat. That's a contributing factor to Trump winning the election. These aren't normal CNN commentary, folks.
And naturally, a small
These
skull.
are the last gasp of Redditors who still, under every article or under every mention, go, but remember when Hassan was talking about Israel and was very negative about Israel? Let me try to paint him in a bad light, because he was very mean to Israel, not realizing that doesn't present me in a bad light at all. No matter what you can say, no matter what you say over and over again, no matter how much you rant, you are falling down the Andrew Cuomo. You are falling down the Andrew Cuomo trap. Okay? They're calling me an anti-Semite. I better think twice about criticizing Israel. No, they go, okay, I am an anti-Semite then. And people just don't understand it. Like, these guys who keep doing this don't understand it. And I think that's part of the reason why they now move on to different targets. Like, oh, he's fucking his dog. He is a dog terrorist or whatever. But, like, that kind of stuff is never going to reach to the same level of salience.
Okay, hold the phone. We got a new nickname to add to the list. Dog terrorist. Thank you for that one, Hassan. I'm sure the community appreciates it. I mean, what are we up to now? We got Hamas, Diddy, Bin Laden, Adolf, EP, Baby Oil, Dog Zapper, Terrorist Piker. And no, this is not me calling a terrorist. That's just like the nickname people give him because he glazes terrorists. By the way, this guy legitimately went, those aren't real CNN viewers. They totally brigaded that comment section. And he somehow thinks that that's an insult. Buddy, CNN viewers are equally as brain dead as your fan base. In fact, there's probably a lot of overlap there, right? They take their tips from you on lying and misrepresenting, right? CNN is fucking inspired by your work, honestly. And thank God that they aren't actual CNN viewers and they actually have some brain cells enough to call out such a dumb glazing article or a puff piece again that we'll look at later in this video as well. But you know, the thing I'm most happy about is that Hassan was smart enough to figure out the real reason behind these comments that did not mention Israel. It was obviously Israel, right? I'm glad that he solved this puzzle, man. Like, he solved the puzzle of life. Basically just blame every single thing on Israel. Oh my god, I stubbed my toe. Oh my god, I fell off a bike. Probably Israel. If not Israel's probably Asmongold, you know? I mean, I don't know what to say. Keep grasping onto it, man. Firmly grasp it in your hand like that SpongeBob meme. I really wonder how long this grift will last. This guy's been grifting off this shit for 2 years now, potentially more. People responded, Asmongold doing better really shocked a nerve, huh? Please, only Kaya shocked. Is the good coverage in the room with us? I've never seen anyone glaze themselves even a fraction as much as Hasan glazes himself. Bro, he probably jacks off to himself in the mirror. It was a bad year for his dog too. I would actually argue that it was a good year for his dog because he got exposed for shocking it, and now Kaya is 85% less on camera, on screen, right? She's allowed to sort of move around because he can't risk electrocuting Kaya on stream at least. Who knows what's happening off stream though? Such a bad year that you whined about how your reach was damaged in your PR. Thinks his reputation with the youth has been irreparably tarnished. Do not do this. Do not bring up receipts involving Hasan Piker. That is actually a sin. Do not bring up his own words, okay? He's actually very happy and fulfilled, guys. Cue the fucking crash outs.
How can I be okay? I hate all of you. I hate the woke. I hate woke. I hate the left. I hate the woke.
He cries about Asmongold every day, says that he is worse, yet Asmon gets 20k plus more views on Twitch, makes more money on YouTube alone. All while this, the same dog shocker complains about the guy, giving him more content to farm. Bad year for my haters. You got farmed in Ireland. I cannot believe you're posting this man posing with a gun right now. Can't you see that this was a threat on his life? You know, this meme that he printed out that Hasan himself posted on Twitter is an obvious threat to his life. So much so that he needed to bring up Asmongold's address.
Or whether it be Asmongold's address.
Oh my god, I forgot the real nickname. The fact Hamas, Diddy, Adolf Bin Laden, EP, Smollett, Palpatine, Petite Feet. I forgot the Petite Feet. You cannot have a Hasan Piker nickname without the Petite Feet and the small head. That's some serious copium because Hasan detractors are eating well. It is probably like one of my best months in 7 years of YouTube. So yeah, like best previous month. All these months have been amazing. Moving on to Hasan talking about working a real job. For some reason, we got Ultra Nepo Baby here with Billionaire Dad, who said that streaming is more draining than a 9-to-5 job, is somehow talking about having a real job. And the context is that he's talking about women who like sleep their way to the top or something. Hasan talks about how frustrating real jobs can be and relates it to a personal experience. Anyone who's worked a real job... Hasan, can you shut the oh my god, play the clip.
Anyone who's worked a real job knows you just gotta fucking play ball. It sucks. It's not even like just ass kissing, it's everything. It's ass kissing and also simultaneously putting in the fucking work. Okay? Sometimes you just gotta crack your knuckles, roll up your sleeves, and get to town on Dick Suck Mountain. Okay? That's it. That's what a job feels like to me. Okay? The reality of the matter is, sometimes people don't actually put in the work. You know? They don't put their hair in a ponytail. They don't crack the knuckles. They just get elevated to the top. And when someone does that, all the other people look at that. Yes, I mean a real job. All the other people that are at varying different levels on, you know, Dick Suck Mountain, they're gonna look up and be like, "How the f you get there? You weren't with us. You were not here with us at the bottom. You were not here with us in the middle. You went straight to the top," and that creates a lot of resentment. And also, not only does it create a lot of resentment,
I've never been to a Dick Suck Mountain,
but also you didn't even do any of the work. You didn't even do any of the necessary work. So now you're inexperienced, sitting at the top. I asked because I'm genuinely curious, not to be a facetious asshole, but what kind of jobs have you worked pre-content creation? My climb on Dick Suck Mountain started at advertisement sales, my friend, where you do it both literally and figuratively. Awful. Anyone who's ever worked in sales will tell you it's the fucking shittiest thing, and it rewards people who are sociopaths. It sucks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is level 99 rage bait. You cannot convince me this man's entire existence isn't to rage bait me. Hassan, stop acting like you've ever had to work a day in your life, bro. You were given your entire career from your uncle, Chunk Yogurt, vanilla chocolate flavored yogurt from the Young Turks, right? And then Destiny boosted you on Twitch as well, gave you your entire career. Pretty much any YouTuber or streamer or content creator in general will tell you that the hardest part about making it online is the initial phase, because to go from 0 to 1 view is like the hardest thing ever. And we're not talking fucking shorts, okay? Whatever, you can get views on shorts or whatever. Long form views is the hardest thing ever. Me myself, I had to post like 10 months straight of like daily videos, and I could barely cross like 10 views or something like that, right? It took an insane amount of effort to get that initial push, because nobody knows who you are. The algorithm doesn't know who you are. Your videos are never gonna get pushed. You need to somehow inch your way in there. And people like me, we didn't get a shout out from anyone, nothing. Meanwhile, Hassan just gets fucking put on there by his uncle who already has this thing, by Destiny who already has an audience, and it's a million times easier, and he's talking. Just shut the fuck up, man. Right, so the job he's talking about is working in advertising sales. Now, I would give a little bit of a caution here, Hassan. I don't know why I always help my haters, but that's like a tendency I have to always give good advice to everybody. You probably don't want to reveal too much info about this, Hassan, because you know the internet detectives have already proved that you didn't actually grow up broke, right? When you tried to sell that rags to riches story, nobody actually bought that. So now you're just sort of giving them more info to work with and to piece together in your entire life story, right? So I don't know, I'm very skeptical about this advertising sales job and like how long he exactly worked, why he specifically worked. Was he actually working for money, or was he just sort of getting by while something else was going on? I don't know. I personally would love to know the exact company that he worked at, and I wonder if this is in any way involved with the Young Turks. In that case, it doesn't fucking count at all. But yeah, we'll see if he actually decides to give any info about this, or he's just gonna sit on his high horse being like, I worked the real job. But streaming is still more draining than a 9 to 5. Never forget that.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired. But a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you, you know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed this in the last few videos, but Hassan is obsessed with talking about schlong sucking. He is a professional, bro. A glizzy gladiator of the ages. If you put this man in a Roman Colosseum, he would not fight. He would simply suck some schlong, bro. Rank #1 sucker. And at a certain point, you have to ask, why is he actually doing this? And I feel like he knows that one person will be reacting to his clips, that being Asmongold. And at this point, this seems like an advertisement, man. It seems like an advertisement for Asmongold saying that, hey, I'm actually a very good schlong sucker. Here's my invitation to you. Dan Clancy will not be pleased. You can say a lot about Hassan, but he is not lazy and one of the most prolific streamers. You have a type, you forgot Cheers. It's a pretty prolific streamer and has held up his a-hole for years. Live Hassan reaction. Listen, I will say that Hassan does get on stream for 10 hours a day, and you know, he might be having miserable crash outs and being a horrible person. I will say he's dedicated to being a fucking demon on the internet. He's never worked a real job. Every single position he's had was handed to him by his uncle, and he spent the last decade crying about living in a mansion and not having fast enough internet. Think before you sleep goes, my real sales job that my rich uncle gave to me. Is this actually true? Like, did he is this a job at the Young Turks, or like something that Mr. Chunk gave to him? Because I would not be surprised. Crack your knuckles and roll up your sleeves. That's what a job feels like to me. Confirmed, he's never worked a day in his dog-torturing life. It's a very hard job. Shocking Kaya all day, every day.
Yeah,
it's very hard. You have to keep pressing the button. You can get carpal tunnel from your fingers. Sometimes you just need a rich and famous uncle to build a platform for you to sprint up to it, kick him off, and scream F Israel from. Then watch the bank account fill. Bro, you just yap at the computer all day. The spoiled regard knows nothing about real work. What are you talking about? He reads tweets. He reads tweets, guys. Listen, I know I have the same job, you know, being like an influencer or whatever, but I've never claimed my job is hard. In fact, I routinely say this is the easiest job in the world. Literally the best, dream job anyone can have. Only Hassan Piker would ever complain about it. Santa Piker can't stop giving us these amazing presents. He was my Christmas gift, man, honestly. Thank you so much, Hassan. Wow. Moving on to Hassan calling out Moist Critical again, along with SwapTubers, aka me. This guy he's doing spins on it at this point. And to be honest, I can understand calling out me. I've made a ton of videos on him. I deserve it. I will not be mad at you. Now, I will be mad at you implying that I'm a PDF file based on no evidence, obviously. But, you know, you can call me out. That's totally fair. But why Moist? What is your actual problem? He made one video about you tasering your dog and lying about it, and suddenly you treat him like the Mossad, bro. Like, how many times have you mentioned him? Like, holy shit. Hassan says Moist Critical and SlopTubers are scared to call out Asmongold. Denies his own audience going after people. I, unlike Asmon, actively tell my chat to never go after people.
He's cultivated a very die-hard fan base. And he's also not shy about weaponizing his fan base against any of his critics. So when you have a lot of people in your fan base that are a part of all these other fan bases as well, whether it be, you know, Moist Critical's fan base, or whether it be all the SlopTubers and centrists and their fan bases as well, they're not going to go after him. Okay, they're not going to go after him. One, because they don't want to offend Asmongold fans in their audience, right? They've spent years and years cultivating a somewhat apolitical audience, and a lot of these apolitical people will lean in that direction, okay? And when you actually do call out his hypocrisy, or if you do call out his commentary, if you find it to be dangerous, for example, if you find it to be silly or dangerous or whatever, and you actually, you know, do the Hassan Abi technique on Asmongold for ones.
Whoa, pause. The Hasanabi technique on Asmongold? Hello, pause? He's actually just talking about the bedroom. I'm sorry. If you talk about the Hasanabi special on Asmongold, and he was just talking about schlong sucking and dick riding and stuff, so I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like you're trying to advertise yourself to Asmongold. I don't think he's gay, man. I don't think he's interested in you. No matter how much you try to advertise your special moves or whatever. What do you think the Hasanabi technique is in the bedroom? Oh my god, bro. You need to stop. I mean, at this rate, you're gonna get banned on Twitch, Hassan. Like, Dan Clancy is not gonna like you simping for another guy. Also, for the last time, you insufferable moron, the reason people go after you rather than Asmon is because you're way more extreme, dude. And if Asmon one day turns into a bigger regard than Hassan, or has as extreme idiotic takes, then I assure you, I will be the first one to make a video on him. Nobody's afraid of the guy. Maybe like Casey Tron, she has like no emotion and she fucking plays victim, whatever. And to be honest, I feel like I'm pretty fair in the grand scheme of things. Like when XQC was criticizing him for his unhinged chat, I literally said too, like, yeah, he can get pretty extreme at times, and his chat is particularly unhinged sometimes, straight up racist and sexist in some particular cases. I don't know if they actually mean it or they're joking around, but it's definitely off-putting to new people who come in and they're like, okay, what the fuck is going on in this chat? Now, it's nowhere near as bad as Hassan, obviously, but I still feel like Asmon could do a better job at moderating that, right? And I've criticized Asmon for that. And the thing is, I've actually criticized him a lot unknowingly as well. Some of you may not know this, but Asmon actually reacted to one of my videos. Basically, a part of it, I was making fun of iDubbbz and Anissa, and I was basically, you know, giving my usual spiel of talking about how pathetic it is for guys to have OnlyFans girlfriends, or these hoe-type e-girl girlfriends, which I still stand by. I think it's fucking pathetic. And basically what ended up happening was that his chat sort of called him out, saying caught, as if I was talking about him. Now, I was actually talking about iDubbbz, and no idea about Asmon or anything. Apparently, he might have had some like e-girlfriend or dated someone in the past who did those sort of things. But yeah, he sort of felt called out, or he didn't entirely agree. But who actually cares? You're allowed to have disagreements or whatever. I don't really care about if someone is like offended or whatever. I sort of try to tell what I think are good values or good advice, because I know a lot of young people can be watching as well. So I try to guide them down the right path, because, you know, when I was watching a bunch of YouTubers, I was influenced by them as well. And it's not just Asmon, even Tectone, unknowingly, I guess I somehow called them out or whatever, but they're not going to be like fucking crying like Hassan here. They actually respect it, and even, you know, they can admit to their own mistakes or something like that, something Hassan can never do. And, you know, if anybody ever calls me out for something I'm doing, you know, if it's valid, if it's logical, Asmongold, I'll obviously take that into account. But not someone like Hassan is fucking making up shit, obviously. Also, the implication is that the reason we don't criticize Asmongold is because we're afraid to, not that Hassan's an absolute fucking regard. So yeah, no, if he does something wrong, he will be criticized, and we're pretty consistent with that. You just happen to be much more stupider and much more entertaining for content in general, right? And the thing is, he was also implying that Moist is afraid of Asmongold. Now, I would understand me, you know, because I'm a little smaller or whatever, which I still don't care anyways, by the way. I've criticized fucking Mr. Beast, bro. Mr. Beast is in my DMs, dog. Like, it doesn't get worse than that. It doesn't get worse than that. But anyways, Moist, why would he be scared? Have you seen his fucking sub count, bro? Like, what are you talking about? Also, let me spill the beans here. The real reason why Moist Critical does not criticize Asmongold. He didn't shot his dog, you fucking moron.
Yep.
Bro, this guy is so annoying. Even Moist fell in the background. He's just tired of this shit. He's like, God damn, I can't handle this. Right? So then Hassan tries to argue that he's actually very kind to people. He's very kind to his haters.
Then you end up putting your flag in the sand. You say, I'm against this. And he will go after you. He will punish you for saying that, as he has over and over again. And people